Hey students, this lesson is 4.3 day 2. It's area of composite figures. Yesterday we talked about trapezoid being a composite figure of making a rectangle and a couple of triangles that we were able to find the area and then add those together. We're going to continue on with that thought process today. First of all though, let's go through your bell work. Okay, here is your bell work for today. When they met, they changed the schedule on us for the fall break. So yesterday's bell work, we did. I want you to do yesterday's bell work because it's going to help you out more so than, and we're going to leave off a bell work later on. We'll probably leave off, let me look at it. I'll probably leave off Thursday's bell work. So don't worry about doing Thursdays. When we get there, I'll kind of explain that further. But today's bell work is it wants us to simplify and show our work. So, excuse me. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to follow order of operations here. So 12 plus 8 is, let's get a better color we can see, 20. And then it says 1/2 times 20. Well, 1/2 of, that means times, is 10. So this turns into 10. Now, we still have the 5 squared minus 17. Now, we took care of the parentheses. So that's all gone, and it turned into 10. Now we're going to take care of exponents. That's 25. So we have 10 times 25 minus 17. I'm going to pull out the calculator to help me out here. So, well, I know that 10 times 25 is 250. So we have 250 minus 17, and we get 233. Wow, not too bad. Now we're going to look at this one. Use an integer to describe the situation. A plane that's flying at 2,000 feet. So if you look at the ground is 0. So if I wanted to draw a picture of this, so here's the ground, right? And 2,000 feet, well, I'm going to do my best at drawing an airplane. I'm not that good. So we're going to go like this. Okay, so there's my airplane. It's 2,000 feet above the ground. 2,000. So that would be 2,000 feet. So positive 2,000. Now, if we have a submarine, so let's say that this is the ocean and our submarine, I don't know how to draw a submarine, so we're going to just say submarine right there and then go, maybe this is where the guy's sitting. I don't know. I'm the worst artist in the world. And it's 7 meters below the surface. So this is 7 meters. If this is 0, and that way is positive, and this way is negative. So we have negative 7 meters. Yeah, we do need to put in the feet and the meters there. So pretty simple stuff. If you're thinking about the ground or the water level being 0, things that are below are going to be negative, and things that are at or above are going to be positive. It wants us to now order these from least to greatest. Okay, so smallest to biggest is another way of saying that. So out of these numbers right here, which one is the smallest? I know some of you are thinking, oh, it's 4, it's the smallest number, but no, it's positive, while these are negative, so these are smaller. So what's the biggest small number that's there? It's kind of a way to think about it. We have negative 61. It's going to be the first one. Cross it off. Then we have negative 48. Then negative 40. Oh, look at, they're in order. Whoops, we made a mistake. It isn't negative 40, it's negative 41, then negative 40, then 4. So 4 is the biggest number that we have there. All right, let's do the next one, which is the smallest number. We have a negative 97. Then we have a negative 91. Then we have a negative 90. Then we have a 0. And then we have 91. So not too bad. But there you go. There's your bell work. Let's move on. Yesterday, we looked at this trapezoid, and we looked at it as 2 triangles and a rectangle that we found the area and added them together. We're going to do that with this shape now. Now, there's lots of ways that we could split this shape, and there is no right or wrong way, as long as you, again, list out the different shapes so you know that you're finding the area, then you add them together. This one right here, I'm going to break it into 3 different shapes. You can do this. Some of you might think, oh, you know what, I'm going to do this right here. And there's my 3 different shapes. Some of you might be thinking, you know what, I'm going to do this. There's that shape, and then there's this shape. You could do that. Actually, this is the way that I'm preferring to do it, so I'm going to do it this way. There is no right or wrong way on how to do this. The key to this is to know the lengths of your sides. So after I split it out, I like to label. I like to go, okay, well, if this is 6 right here, then this is also 6 right here, and I know that this is 5. Okay, if this is 7 across here, and this whole thing across here is 15, well, what's 15 minus 7? It's 8. So I know that this guy right here has to be 8. And we're going to kind of use that same method of when we don't know something, use the other side. So if I know that this whole thing's 10, and this is 6, so from here to here is 6, and from here to here has to be 4. Even though that we're off a little bit on our measurements, or what it looks like, that's going to be 4. So, pretty cool, huh? Now we have all of our sides listed. We can actually break this up into what shapes. So I have a rectangle that I'm going to call rectangle 1 because, there's 2 rectangles. There's one there and one there. So I also have rectangle 2, and then I have a triangle. Well, let's not list the whole thing out. So here we go. Let's find rectangle 1. How do I find the area of a rectangle? Area equals base times height. Area equals base times height. Rectangle 2, triangle, we're going to go area equals base times height divided by 2. So again, it's important to list out those formulas. Okay, now let's use our substitution. I have a base of 5. I have a height of 6. So my area of that rectangle is area equals 30 inches squared. There we go on that first rectangle. Second rectangle, do I have a base? Let's talk about that for a minute. We found that this was 8 and the whole thing was 15. So if that's 7 and that's 5, that's 7 plus 5 is 12. So from here to here is 12. We needed that. We need that measurement. So we have the base is 12 and our height is 4. I know it looks weird, but it is. It is 4. And we've got 48 inches squared. Then we go to our triangle. We have a base. It is 8. We have a height of 4. So we have 8 times 4 is 32. And 32 divided by 2 is 16 inches squared. So there we go. We got our 3 measurements. We are now going to go 30 plus 48 plus 16. And we get 94 centimeters squared. Okay, so we're doing more of the same that we did yesterday. Yesterday we just focused on trapezoids, which are usually 1 or 2 triangles with a rectangle. This one it could be a lot of different things, but we'll always deal with rectangles and triangles. So let's take a look at the practice. Okay, so here is the practice. Let's take a look at number 1. Let's just dive in. Number 1, wow. We have this shape here that we can split. Now, let's split it into things that we know. We know about rectangles and we know about triangles. So I'm just going to go right here. There's a long, thin rectangle, and then we have that triangle right there. So I'm dealing with 2 shapes here, so I know I have a rectangle, and I know I have a triangle. Let's move that up a little bit so we have some more room to write. Now, how do I find the area of a rectangle? Area equals, well, let's draw our lines here so we have room. Base times height. Triangle, area equals base times height divided by 2. Okay, there are nothing on here is labeled, so let's give it some labels. We know that this is 2, and then if we count here, we're going to go 1 square, 2 squares, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know that this is 8. While we're at it, let's look at that triangle. We already know that the base of it is going to be 8. But let's talk about the height really quick. So let's count. We're going to start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that our height, I'll use a different color to distinguish it, is going to be 4. So we have everything we need now. So we're going to go to our base of our rectangle is 8. Our height, or sorry, I did it backwards. Our base is 2. Our height is 8. So we have 16 units squared. That's our area of just the rectangle. Let's talk about the triangle now. Our base is 8. Our height is 4. And we're going to divide that by 2. So 8 times 4 is 32 divided by 2. Area equals 16 units squared. Wow. So what you're saying is that my area of this rectangle and this triangle are equal. That's exactly what I'm saying. So 16 plus 16 is 32 units squared. And we are done with number 1. Number 2, I think you guys, if you need extra practice, you can try that one out. Number 3, look at number 3 for a minute, because it's a wonky looking shape, isn't it? How would you do that? Well, the way that I would do this one is I would go, right here, and right here. So I would have 3 triangles and a rectangle that I would be finding the area for and then adding them together. So let's go on to one that might be a little bit more challenging. Let me see here. Yeah, let's do number 6. I think a lot of you would look at number 6 and not know what to do. So I'm going to split this one right there. Now I have a rectangle and a trapezoid. Now I have 2 triangles, 2 rectangles that I'm going to find the area for. So let's just go, this is triangle 1, triangle 2, rectangle 1, and rectangle, well, I better give that more room. It's going off my paper now, but that's okay. Rectangle 2. So we're gonna go like that. So again, it might be helpful for you to come out here and go, that's 1, that's 2, and then I'm going to call this one 1 and this one 2. Just so you have a label, something to reference to, so you can not get confused. So let's go ahead and look at triangle 1, because it seems to be the most complex. Now, I'm already looking at this one and going, oh my goodness, we have to use some deductive reasoning here to be able to find out what this part right here is, the base of these. So I'm going to look down here and go, well, if this is all 8, and from here to here is 4, well, that makes this have to be 2, and this one have to be 2. So I'm going to label those 2, 2. So I now have the bases of my triangles. Now let's talk about this we can do that next. We know that the height is going to be 4 because it tells us right here, up here. So this is 4, and this is 4. So we have our dimensions for our triangle now. This rectangle down here on the bottom, I think we have everything. 8 and 5, that's easy. And we have a 4 here. Oh, and we have a 4 there. So we have everything we need. So let's go to work. Again, I'm going to list all these. I'm going to pause right now and list all of the different formulas. All right, so there's all the formulas I'm going to be using. Now let's substitute what we know in. So I am going to substitute on this first triangle. I have a base of 2, a height of 4, and divided by 2. 2 times 4 is 8, divided by 2, area equals 4. And you know what's kind of interesting? Those are identical triangles, so I don't even have to do this second one. I can just go area equals 4 here. And these are feet squared. We better list those. And now let's do the first rectangle. That's that smaller one up here on the top. So we have a 4 times 4. So we have 4 and 4. So my area equals 16 feet squared. And the rectangle on the bottom, we have 5 and 8. So 8 is our base and 5 is our height. So we have area equals 40 feet squared. Whoops. Now we need to use our calculator, add this all together. We have 4 plus 4 plus 16 plus 40. And we get 64 feet squared. Again, this can be tedious. It takes a little bit of a longer time to do these, but you should be able to do them if you break it up and organize it. That's the key to doing this, is organizing it so you can solve it. Again, focus is key here, guys. You can't be like looking off and talking to your friends or trying to carry out a conversation while you're doing this at the same time. You need to focus in, get the question done. And it does take a little bit of time to get it, but we haven't given you a ton of questions. So let's take a look at your assignment. All right, so again, I have done some of these questions. They're very similar to the ones that I've done already. I think you're capable of doing it. You have 3 up here that have to do with the units that you're going to kind of have to figure out and look at the squares. Then down here, you're going to use more of the formula that we've been using. Again, you have to just break it into pieces that you know in order to do it. So give these a shot. If you have problems, talk to your teacher and we're going to help you out.